Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to show you and talk a little bit about the couple of purchases I've made from the Guerlain Spring collection. I haven't bought a lot. I've just bought the Baby Glow, I'm going to say foundation. I'm not sure that's quite how they describe it. And I've also bought a highlighting powder. It's quite an extensive collection, and a lot of you may have seen photographs of, in particular, the blush that's been released for the spring, which is in a kind of mini meteorites formulation. In other words, little tiny different coloured balls in a pot. I did look at that. I've heard really good reports, and a lot of people whose opinion I really respect really liked it. It didn't swatch that well on me, and I guess I just decided in any event I had enough blush products to use at the moment for spring, so I passed on that. There are also at least 4 lipsticks, 3 of which were already sold out at the department store where I visited and bought my items. They look very pretty, pinks and kind of corals, but as I say, they'd obviously been really popular. I think there are a couple of lip glosses as well, various other items, a couple of eyeshadow palettes, but I'm not entirely sure that they weren't promotes, and they didn't really grab me. The 2 items that did were this one, which is called the Baby Glow. It's a light revealing sheer makeup anti-fatigue effect, SPF 25. Now, who doesn't need that, especially the anti-fatigue effect bit? I bought this in, well, I thought it was the lightest colour, but I see it's labelled number 2 Clair Light, so maybe it wasn't quite the lightest, but I'm happy to say it does work on my skin. I've worn this twice. You can see there it's a fairly viscousy lotion that takes a bit of blending in. I've tried applying it with a foundation brush, which is how I like to usually apply my foundation, all but the stick ones. And I have to say, I don't find that works very well. This is definitely a finger job. I think the formulation is much more akin to a BB or a CC cream than a foundation. And that's consistent with the look on your skin, which definitely isn't a high coverage. It's what I would describe as a very light coverage. The other thing to say is it comes literally in 3 colours, so it's never going to match everybody's skin tone precisely, which is probably why it's such a light coverage. I find it looks fine on me, doesn't leave a tide mark. It gives this slightly glowing, difficult for you to see look of your skin, but better. But I definitely need a little bit of extra help on my chin and round my nose area, which I do with usually my Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick or RCMA solid foundation that I have. That, truth to tell, I've been using a lot anyway with my actual foundations. But I really do like this product, the little that I've used of it so far. I really like the packaging of Guerlain's BB foundations, or this packaging. You've got it in a nice squeezable tube, but with the really hygienic pump, so the product isn't deteriorating by coming into contact with the air. I will say that it's a very tiny tube compared to their previous tubes. What I'm showing you there is the Lingerie de Peau BB cream with SPF 30. I have to say that I still probably prefer the BB cream. They're very, very similar. I just think the BB cream actually has slightly more coverage, quite a bit more coverage, and it definitely lasts longer on the skin. I mean, to be fair, they're not supposed to be the same thing, but the actual consistency and how they feel, I put rather a lot there, to me is very, very similar. and I hope you can see there, here's the Baby Glow and here's the BB cream. There's definitely more luminescence and a slight pinkiness on the Baby Glow and just more of the straight coverage on the BB cream. I rate this as my favourite BB cream. I've talked about it before, and it's excellent, particularly in hot, humid climates. It really stays put and gives fantastic coverage, and a very high SPF, but still a natural looking finish. So I like them both, and I would definitely buy the BB cream again when I run out. And I'm enjoying the Baby Glow at the moment. It's a really pretty look for spring. Now, the other thing that I bought, I haven't even seen in any of the press releases or other blogists from the spring collection. It's called Poudre de Soie Silk Powder, which they describe, here we go, as an illuminating powder, which kind of suggests to me you put it all over your face. But when I opened it and swatched it, I certainly wouldn't be putting it all over my face. You can see it's an extremely pearlescent rose gold highlighter, basically. And Guerlain do these fantastically. It's got, if you can bear to disturb the pattern, a beautiful, beautiful sheen. Now, you either love very highly pearlescent highlighting powders like this, or you don't, and you're not going to stick it everywhere. And in fact, when you apply it to the cheeks or the brow bone, I mean, it does sheer out a little bit and just gives this really pretty glowy look, which I absolutely love. It reminded me a lot of a previous almost cult Guerlain highlighter. This was the Meteorites Cruel Gardenia, I think about 2011, 2012. Sold out really quickly. It was one of the early, really, really pearly highlighters that have become very popular in recent years. And you can see there, although I've used mine quite a lot, the gardenia flower is still going strong in the engraving. And if you put them together, they're very, very similar. This one is slightly more goldy, slightly warmer than the original Cruel Gardenia. I'm not sure that I can swatch them close together, giving you a bit of shadow there. So this one is definitely a bit lighter, but very, very similar. You wouldn't really need this one if you had Cruel Gardenia, I have to say, unless, like me, you're a bit of a collector as well. The one thing I have against these, I should say, you get quite a lot of product, 9 gram there in Cruel Gardenia, 10 gram now in the Poudre de Soie. So there you are. Most cosmetics I'm complaining are getting smaller, but there's Guerlain giving you an extra gram over Cruel Gardenia with this new one. So that's all to the good. My one complaint is the packaging, which is very, very pretty, but this screw top is quite difficult to get off without jamming into and scratching your powder. Slightly better on this new one than it was on Cruel Gardenia, which was a bit of a nightmare, and I've chipped mine a few times. But I would rather have a hinge one, I think, would be much easier. But that aside, beautiful, simple packaging. If you missed out on Cruel Gardenia, it's almost a dupe, and it's really, really gorgeous. I suppose I should show you, just by comparison, the most recent Chanel one that we had, before Christmas. A much, much more silver highlighter. Let's show them together. So you've got there the rosy gold and the silver. Let's do Cruel Gardenia just to make it a complete trio. There you go. So you can see these two Guerlain very similar. The Chanel one, in my experience, the most unusual, because there have been lots of rose gold highlighters, although I think Guerlain do them the best of anyone. But when you shear them out on the skin, I mean, you can still see this Chanel one, which is still available at a lot of counters if you're interested. Does come much more silver than the very pretty rose gold. I love them both, and I think you could use them both for different effects. But some would say definitely the rose gold is much more of a spring, summer highlighter colour. So those were my purchases from Guerlain and some comparisons, if you're interested. And I definitely think the Guerlain collection is one worth having a look at. There's some beautiful products. I have some exciting Tom Ford products to show you soon when I get round to it. But until then, bye for now.